Hi guys, very good morning to all of you. Welcome to the video number 404, and in this amazing video today we are going to actually talk about that if you have a alphanumeric text, any value which has a special characters, which has numbers or text, and you want to actually filter that cell, you want to extract the numbers out of it, then how you can do that using the VBA. Right, so in this video we are going to actually learn, we are going to make a loop and we are going to use a couple of functions, like we are going to use the is number, okay, and then we are also going to use the error handler. So this is really going to be extremely very advanced video. In order to understand this video, you should have a good knowledge of the loops, and you should also be knowing the the VBA functions and the error handler. So this video I'm uploading an attempt to answer one of the queries. I got it from one of my subscriber Alex, who posted the comment that if I want to do the other way around. So this I actually, the comment, I copied it from the video he Alex actually watched, where I showed that how to extract the numbers from a cell where you have the numbers and the text combined. So that's the question. Extract just the numbers from, say, this entry where you have backslash hyphen, so it would only show this number, right? So thank you so much for posting the comment, Alex. And I want to tell you now, guys, this is your Excel basically, and this is where we are. This is the exercise for us today. This is where we're gonna work. And before I do that, I just want to take 10 seconds. This is the playlist. Many of you have posted the comment, and I keep getting these emails also that the channel is you are really getting a lot of benefit from this channel watching the videos, and it's really amazing to see your feedbacks, comments, guys. So whenever you ask me that what exactly how you want to start with the VBA, so these are the playlists which you should watch in this sequence, right? You start with the introduction, loops, collection, loops, and so on. I have written it for your clarity. So for those who are watching the channel for the first time, we have got 44 different playlists created on this channel, bifurcated into 4 subjects: Excel, Excel VBA, MS Access, and Access VBA. So these 4 subjects, you will find the videos extreme, advanced, and then intermediate level, the basic level, everything will be there, right? So now we're going to discuss about this. We're going to make a VBA code for this. So let's go ahead. Now this is or basically the first task. So you want to actually split, you want to not split, but you want to extract the number from it. So your answer should look like 2520181005108555, and similarly the next should be 5201810051086. So that's how actually this is what, guys, we want to do. So you can see here that you have the hyphen, you have the backslash, and then if you further go, you have the characters as well, and then the caret sign as well. So there are a lot of things, right? So you can write anything in this. This is not specifically going to deal with only these special characters which you are seeing on the this cell. It could be anything. So we just need to extract the number, and whatever the value we have, special characters or the alphabet, we don't care, right? We will make our program very dynamic. So let us go ahead and start the code, guys. So I'll go to the Visual Basic, and I'm going to write the code here. So we will write here that extract number. This is, I'm going to give the name to my macro. Now what is the first thing I would like to do? Well, the first thing which I would like to do is that I'm going to actually use a mid function. Okay, now why I want to use the mid function? Well, I want to use the mid function because you see, if you use the mid function in the Excel, this is how you do it. In the text, start number and number characters, you have 3 parameters. So in the text, I want to go in this text, and I want to start my calculation from 1. And I want to start my calculation from 1. How many characters do I need in return? I just need the 1 character. So when you press enter, you get to see here the first the number. So in this way, what I will do, I keep on changing the start position. This time, in the next time in the VBA, I will start the position from the 2. You see that I will get now 5. If I again start the position from the 3, provided that I only looking for the 1 character in return, then guys, this is how we will actually split all these values. So I will have here 2, and then we'll have here 5, and then we will have the this backslash, and then 2, and then 0, then 1, and then 8, and so on, right? And then we will see that if they are functions, if these values are numbers or not, then we will use the its number function. So this is basically my plan, how you're going to use the mid function. Now if you don't have any idea about the mid function, how generally we use the mid function in the Excel, then please go and check my playlist, Excel text functions. I have talked about these mid functions, left function, right function, find function, search function in detail, right? You need to find out the playlist called Excel text functions, right? So the same way we use it in the VBA as well. So what is the first thing I would like to do? The first thing which I would like to do is I would like to run this loop how many times. So I want to run this loop, it depends number of times. I actually have got here, these text entries, these the numbers, whatever it is, right? So in that case, what I will do, I will simply go ahead and I will write here dim I as, let's say, long, then I is going to be equals to range of a1 dot value, right? And then what I want to do is further I go ahead and I will declare one more variable, and I'll say that total length equals to I'm going to calculate the length of I. So this is len, basically is a function which we are using. Len is a function, guys, which we use to calculate the number of the values, the number of characters you have. So you can see here this is 20, so that means I will run this loop 20 times, right? So each time the start number will keep on changing. So here you will write here for j equals to 1 to total and then underscore length, right? So what will happen, this will ensure that this is going to run 1 to 20 times. The next time when we drag the formula downward, so I mean in our loop we are going to take care of everything. So let us now first of all only start with the basic part. Okay, so now I have here dim I as long, and then I'm going to declare one more variable which is total length, and I'm going to declare this as again long, right? So when you run this, see what will happen. Variable not defined. Oops, I think I just forgot to declare the j, so I'm going to declare it j as well. So now when we run this is how you get to see type mismatch. So what is the type mismatch? Okay, my mistake. This has to be string, because you have this a1 value and it cannot be integer because it's not a number, it's alphanumeric, right? So I declare it I as string. Now let me run this again. So there we go. So now you have a value in the I, which is this. We captured the value. Now we're going to calculate the number of total, the total number of characters. It comes as 20. So now the j is going to start with 1 to 20. So 20 times the loop will work, right? So when the 20 times the loop is going to work, guys, what we will do, as I said, that we are going to use the mid function. Okay, so before when the loop starts, what I will do, I will keep my cursor on the row number 1, which would come from j, and the column has to be 2. So I select this cell first of all. That's what I need to do, so that my cursor should be on the b2. So when I run this is how you will have your target is b1, right? Now once you're on the b1, obviously that becomes your active cell. So you would like to do what you would like to do is, maybe you can declare here a variable called store. I'll just declare it in the above section in a while. So store is going to be equals to use my mid function. What is my string? So my string, obviously that it is going to come from this, which is cells j do dot value. Okay, and the column number would be 1 this time, so I write here 1. Okay, now start from where you want to start. I want to start from the j, because j is going to be the first time when the loop starts, j will be 1, and I have my start position as 1. So what will happen, the mid function will go in this a1 cell and it will start from first, and in return how many characters I want, I just need 1 character, right? So store is going to show you, actually let me just write here store as variant. It could be anything. So it could be a number, it could be a text, that's fine. Okay, so now when I run this is how you get to see here a value. This cell already that this has a value called 25/2018. If I just select this and I put the watch code so that you can see that what is happening, you can see that we got the value here, this value. So we are starting from the first character and we need the 1 character. So now if I just hover my mouse, you see that store actually got the 2, which is this character. Now after we get this, what we will actually like to do is we will like to check that whether this is a number or this is a text. So I'm going to put the watch here. Okay, now you see that basically what happened, because mid is a text function. So whenever you are going to extract anything using the mid function, even if it is a number, right, like in this case 2 is a number, it will put the double quotes here, right? And why I actually chose to show you the variant, because I wanted to show you that if the VB is going to define data type, the default data type, because when you declare the variant, you leave everything to the VBA. VBA decides the future of that, the variable. So VBA also declared it as a string because of this mid function. You know that 2 is not basically a string, it's a number. It has to be long or integer, right? So in that case, what you can do is you can very smartly multiply this with 1, because when any number you multiply it with 1, what happens, the number doesn't get changed, the value doesn't get changed. And at the same time, if the number is stored as a text, then the number comes back to a its original data type, which is a number, right? So if I just reset this and I'm going to run this code again, now the next time when you run this, you see what will happen. You run this 2 is coming without double quote. That's the basically the catch here, right? So we're going to say that multiply it with 1 and let us see whether that is a number or not. Okay, then further what you will do, you will write here a condition if, then you're going to write here worksheet function, which is a class for the which is a library for all the functions. Most of the functions are stored in this worksheet function class. So you're going to write here is number, if it is a number or not. By the way, guys, if you want to know more about the worksheet functions, I mean the VBA functions, you can go and check out here a playlist called Excel VBA function. So you can write here a function. When you write the function and you search for it, you get to see here I think 8 or 10 videos on the different VBA functions. I'm so sorry, it's actually 20 amazing videos are here, right? So when you click on that, you get to see a lot of different functions. For example, you can see here avoid text and some numbers only, magical VBA function using left, right, in str, str reverse. So there are a lot of things, right? You can see here all these videos, right? Basics of VBA functions. What are the basics of function, how you use it, when you use the VBA functions, what are the things you're supposed to remember, what are the things you're supposed to ignore. So I mean everything is there, right? So let me come back to this. So now we're going to say that if the value in the store is going to be a number, then what we would like to do, obviously you would like to store that value. Okay, so what you will do here is you will declare one more variable, which is my val, let us say, and we are going to say that my val, and then we are going to use it with the store. Okay, so the store would come here with the empty my val, because when the first time the loop runs, my val will be empty. So we're going to simply concatenate it with the store, which will have your first value, first number. Okay, not a value, else and if. Okay, so now I'm just going to run this again. Let us see how this code is going to work. So there we go, variable not defined. Okay, I should have defined it, my val. So there we go. So again I declare this as a variant, let the VBA decide my val. You can declare this as a number as well, that's fine, but I just want to see how the VBA is going to react to this. So I just go ahead and I put the watch code on this my val as well. So now let's run the code. So you are on the one cell, and now you get to see here store as a 2. So you see that the store 2, it's actually a number, the first the value of the string. So now this is going to be checked, is it a number? Yes, it is a number. So now what will happen, this empty my val is already empty, we haven't put anything here. So I'm just going to concatenate it with the 2. So when you do that, you see that my val comes as 2, right? So VB again try to give it a string data type, but that doesn't matter, because in this case it is not required. I just need the numbers here, right? Though you can multiply it with 1 as well, that's fine. Now let's go to the next. So and if, now that the loop has to run how many times, we have to run this loop 20 times. So this is the second time the loop is going to run. Now the second time when the loop is going to run, obviously j will be 2. So that means I should be on the row number 2 and the column number 2. So I'm on the row number 2 as expected. Now this time the good thing is that in this cell J1, which is you see that this 5 and 20a. All right, so we had a change here actually, guys. This is very bad, right? We shouldn't have changed the value. This should have been 25/2 018 and -10. So basically what happened, because j is changed, then your cell is also changed. but we want it to work on the A1 cell. So you reset the code. Okay, you reset the code, and now you got to actually program it in a different way. So what you will do is, instead of this J, I'm going to simply write here row number. For example, another variable I'm going to declare, because I don't want the row number to change, right? That's very bad. So you just write here row number here, and J should change because the starting position of the mid function, keep on changing. So that is what we want to do. And before I go to the yeah, so I think we are fine with this. Row number should remain as 1. So this loop is going to work 19 times, and 19 times we will be on the same cell. And then every time we have a change in the start position. So I'm just going to actually put it else, and I'm going to put it end if like this. Let me give the indenting. And now you need to declare one more variable, so I just go and declare row number as well. And the row number obviously is going to start with the 1. That is very important. You cannot leave the row number as empty, otherwise guys you will have the error. All right, so there we go. Let's again start the this entire code again. So we are now starting. The row number 1 comes, and I should be on the cell B1. That's it. Now this is going to pick up the value from the row number 1, which you already know. You can see here. I have to just change this because so I just put the watch code on this as well. I have changed the variable J, and just give me a second. I think let me just give the selection. Comma was coming actually. So there we go, and I don't need this. Let me delete that. Yeah. Finally, you can see here that we have the same value again, and now the mid is going to work. It's going to pull out the first cell. This is the start position, and it will start from 1, and it will return 1 character, and then that 1 character is in front of you 2. Okay, because you multiplied it with 1. Now the next thing is, obviously we are going to check whether it is a number or not. Yes, it is a number, so I'm going to store that value. You have here 2, which is very nice. Now the next time the loop runs, now the J is going to be incremented by 2, so J will work. Now again the row number is not changed. That is what I actually wanted. So again this will remain there, and now we have a new this basically the J, the start number is 2. So if I go in this cell and I say that I want to start from the second character, and but from starting the second character I need the 1 number in return, obviously you will get the 5, right? So you have a store now 5, right? Is it a number? Yes, it is a number. So now what will happen, previous 2 is going to be concatenated with this 5, and that is why you get to say here 2 5. Wonderful. So let's go to the next. Now what is the next time? So next time now J is again going to be 3. So I'm going to start my mid in from the 3rd position. So in this cell, if you start from the 3rd position, it is going to be a /. Okay, and this slash actually is obviously that it is a text. So a text cannot be multiplied with this 1, obviously, right? You can't multiply any text with number with 1, right? Of course you can multiply it any number which is stored as a text with 1, then that's fine, but a text cannot be multiplied. You can't multiply a with 1, right? That doesn't make any sense. So same way you cannot multiply this slash. So now what will happen, guys, when you run this, you will get the error which is called the runtime error 13, right? So what to do in that case? That is very important thing. Now how to handle this, right? That is why in the beginning I said that we are actually going to work with the error handler part. So this line will always give the error because you're going to multiply it with 1, and anytime when A, B, C, any alphabet or special character is going to be multiplied with 1, you will have the error. So we will have to deal with this. Now what are you going to do here in this particular situation, right? So in this particular situation, what we are going to do, I'm going to act very smart. I'm going to say that on, just in case if I have any error, I'll write here before I write the loop, on error. I'm gonna use the on error, go to my error handler, which I'm just going to name it as Ajay, for example. So what happens when you have the error, it will go in the Ajay part, right? So in the Ajay part, I just go here and I start. This is how you start. So this is going to be my error handler part. Anything I write here, the moment the error comes, it will go here. So here what I want to do is I want to declare one variable, which is, I'm going to name it as error underscore came, and then I'm going to write here true. Okay, and then so we will have to declare this the variable here. Let me just go above, and I just declare here error came as boolean. I'm going to declare this as a boolean, and before it starts, what we will do, I will declare this error came equals to false, right? So there is no error, so we are defining it as a as false. Boolean data type is a data type which takes the true and the false values, right? So, and let me just put it somewhere else, because just a second, I want some more space here. So yeah, that's how it is. This looks better. All right, now when you have the error came as true, so what you will do actually is you will go to the next line. You say that resume next. Now resume next actually means that the line which generated the error, it should avoid that line, and it should start your VB program with the next line, which is going to be obviously this line, this line, if function, because this is a line which will generate the error. So you can write here that this line generate error, okay, for text values. So what we will do here is we are going to put the condition here. I'm going to say that if error came is equals to false, okay, then please go and do this, perform this if function, because if the error is false, then I'm okay with that, right? But if the error is not false, then I write one more else and I say that end if. Then don't do anything, simply just avoid this entire part. This entire part has to be avoided, right? That is what exactly this error function, this error handler is going to do. I know that, as I said, this is advanced video. I'm not if you think that you really need to have a good understanding on the error handlers, then guys, please go to the Excel VBA introduction playlist, and there are I think three videos starting from the scratch on the error handlers, right? You will understand it, because there are some more error handlers which I'm not discussing in this video, right? So you can go and check out all those videos. Now let us go ahead and write the code again. So run the code again. So there we go. So we started everything. So we're going to start with the first value. You can see here, this is my first value. Okay, so let me just increase the width of this, and yeah, so we have this value, and we're going to start with this a as 1. So the mid will again pull out the first character, which is going to be my 2, and that error came is false, obviously, because when I started the code deliberately, I have written here error came as false, because this should be false, right? Because right now we do not know. Now we got the number here, and we want to test, we want to check this whether this is a number or not. So I go here, condition satisfies, and this is a number, and then finally you have a value in the my val as 2. So finally your value my val is coming as 2. Perfect. Now else, and if next, now it goes back to the j as 2. Now in the j as 2, obviously that now we are seeing that the start number has to be 2. So again I go in this text and I pull out the second character, right? So I have now 5. It should be 5. You can see here we have got the 5. 5 is a number, of course, and error came is also false, so the condition satisfies, and I go here in this if condition, and again this is a number, obviously you can see here, so it satisfies, and now the previous 2 is going to be concatenated with this 5. This we have already seen, right? So I just quickly go. Now you got the 25. Now the problem would come. Now your j is going to be 3, so the mid will go in the third position, and it is going to pull out the first one character from there because of this one which you have written, and it is going to multiply it with 1. That the third character is going to be hash. This not hash, I beg your pardon, but the slash. So guys, now what will happen, this line is going to give you the error because you're multiplying it with 1. So finally when the error comes, you look at this, guys, it will go in the Ajay part. Because of that, on error go to Ajay. So here error came, I will change that from false to true. You'll see its benefit. So resume next. I told you that the next line will be resumed. The code will go to the next line, from where the error actually came. Just after it's the next line, it will go and start working. So that this is this if error is going to be the next line. So if I just run F8, I'm here. Now that error came actually is true because I changed this value. That was a smart move. Now this is not false, so what will happen, it's not work in this worksheet function part, because the condition will fail and we will have the else and the end if. Now again we go to the next character. Wow, this is amazing. Now again you have a new change in the J, so now it is 4, and in the fourth position I have 2. So obviously now you see that the error came is going to be true. Now this is very again interesting. You see that the error came is true, so what will happen, it will not go in this worksheet function part. You have said that if the error is going to be, it is not going to be false, don't check for that, but you have to check that, right? So ideally this is going to go, this should have gone in the if part, but this is not, because if you will not go in the if part, how are you going to check for the next number, whether it is a number or text? So guys, what actually we missed out here is that when you go in the else part, here in the end if here part, what you need to basically do is you need to here the next, before it goes to the next J, you got to change your error came again to false, so that the next time when the condition runs, error came would again be false. So you got to change this to true only when the error comes. When the error comes and when we have dealt with the error, to start it with the to give it a fresh start, to capture the next number, we will be writing here error came as false, right? So that this condition should be satisfied. A lot of things are happening in this video, isn't it? So I just go ahead and run the code again. So there we go. So we're going to run the code again. So I just quickly go. So the first thing is, you already know that we have the value in the store 2. It's a number and the error came is false. So it goes and it concatenates my val with the 2. So my val is now going to be 2. And if now error came again, it's false. Yes, it has to be false. Now the J is incremented, J is going to be 2. So the mid is going to start from second character, second position. It will pull out the one character from the second position, one value I would say, and that is going to be, you can see here, 5, which is correct. Is it a number? Yes, it is a number. So again, now you have in the my val 25. Next time when the error comes, now this line will give you the error because J is going to be 3, and in the 3 you have our special characters, which is /. You have the error came is going to change to true, resume next. So it comes here and it sees that error came actually is true, so it will completely avoid this if part and it goes in the end if part. Now before it goes to the next part, before it checks for the next 2, we want to make this error came again, we want to change it back to the false. Okay, that is why I have written this line. This is the line which we didn't write previously. Now the error came is now again false, so again the loop will run. So now again you have a new value here of the J. So let me run. So J is now actually 4. So you have a new value in the store which is 2. After the / there is a 2. Error came is obviously false, so we will go and check out that value, this 2. Is it a number? Yes, it is a number. So we would like to store this 2 with what? The previous value 2, 5. That is the reason I used my val equals to my val and store. I'm using this my val twice so that the previous value should not be destroyed. You see that we got the 252. So in this way, again I run this, error came again is false. Next, now what is the next? Next is going to be 0. So let me just quickly run this, and you can see on the watch window we're doing good. So we have 8 1, and you can see here that we have got 25018. This is the one. Right after this there is a hyphen, so let's see how it is going to deal with that. So now again you have, now the J is going to start obviously 8. On the 8th character you have a value which is going to be a hyphen. So hyphen multiplied with 1 generated the error. You are in the error handler, and now error came is, we are going to change this to true. So resume next, it to the next line. Now you already know that the error came is going to be false. So this condition, actually it is true, so it is not going to be false. So this condition completely fails, and I go to the else mode. And before I now take on to the next value, which is after the hyphen is 1, I want to change this back to error came. So guys, in this way you keep on running this, and this is what we will have. Look at this. Okay, so I keep on running this code. So we have here 1 0, we still need 855. So I run this quickly. There we go. So finally, let me put the watch code, the break code here, and run this F5. Look at this. You got your entire value. So when the code starts or the stops, just write here active cell value has to be equals to the value which is in the my val. That's it, guys. So if I just reset the code and I just run this, this is what you will get. You can see that I ran the code, right? So let me just give it a space and let's go to the control 1. Let me format the cell actually. That's my cell basically, and you have your value here. Perfect, right? Now how about the next value? So obviously you need to make a bigger loop than this. So what you will do is you are actually going to create here two loops. So one is that you should run this number of times, the it has a how many characters, because we need to extract every value one by one, so we need to run that loop that many times. So you saw that here we ran the loop 18 times, but after running it 18 times, obviously you need to go to the next cell as well. So now then what you will do is you will write here a bigger loop, which is called, for example, right here, big loop equals to 1 to how many times you want to run it. I want to run it for, I will capture the last row from a100 dot end excel up. That's how you can do that, right? So we're going to capture this last row, then it's the next should also come here, so we're going to have this next over here. Okay, and please ensure that once your loop stops, what should happen, it should exit the macro immediately. It should not go to the else part, right? This, because this is the error handler part, this should be executed only when you have the error. If you don't have the error, then after this next, immediately your macro should stop, and ideally you should write this active cell dot value here before exiting. Okay, not before exiting, actually I think before going to the next. So here you will write it. That's how. Okay, so I just like to give some indenting here. Let me quickly give the indenting so that we can see that. So this is the else mode, and that's how it is. So this is the bigger loop, this for big loop, right? This ensures that the loop has to run 5 times, and every time it runs, first it will complete the first part and then the second part and so on, right? And of course you need to go to the next cell. So once you are from this active cell, you come out of this this next j. I would write here next j, and I can write here big loop, so that you can understand. You got to increment your row number, because you have to go to the next row number as well. So that's how it is going to work. Now just to give you understanding, let me just run this loop maybe. So for example, I just write here 6/5 and then maybe star and then 3, and then again I write here 134 hash maybe r, and then I write here a3, for example, to run this loop quickly. So I have here j and then caret and then sort of this. Now the first time when the loop runs, it's gonna run 1 2 3 4 5 times the loop is going to run. So we're going to start this. There we go, variable not defined. I should declare this variable as well, so I'm just going to write here one more variable. I'm going to declare this as big loop as long. Okay, and now we're going to start this. There we go. So finally I'm starting the loop. There we go. And so the loop is going to work how many times? 1 to 5 times. But each time it runs, before it runs for the second time, this has to run. That depends what is the length. So you can see here I have got the total length as 5, right? Now the total length which is coming here as 5, you're already calculating here in this I. So this can be fatal for your program, because once this loop runs and goes to this 3 4 hash r, again it will try to run 5 times, and it should not run 5 times. So I think what you should do is, basically, instead of writing this total length here, don't do that. I think what we can do is we can remove this total length, and we can simply write that the length has to be equals to the value of the cell which is in the row number, because row number you're dynamically changing it, right? And the column has to be 1. So I think that is also, this is a good option. I'm gonna write like this, and I just go and close this. So there we go. So let us start now. The row number is obviously 1, so 1 and comma 1 means that I'm on the A1, and it has to run how many times? Well, it should run actually 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? 5 times. So there we go. This row number is going to be selected. So I will run this quickly, very quickly. I'm going to run this. You keep your eye on this my val, right? So there we go. This is the second time we are running this. Error came because there is a slash. So I go here again, error came, and now I have 65 is there, so I just run this again. Now I have one more value, which is going to be 653. We got it, right? This we have already seen that. Now the loop ran, and I think this is the, because 3 is your last number, so now what will happen, it will go in the next j, right? Now in the next j, I don't think so it will run again, because j is already stopped. J was supposed to run 5 times and it ran 5 times, so it will go now in the active cell. It prints that value 653, and now before it starts working on 34 hash, you got to increment the row number by 1. That is what I wanted to tell you. Actually, the row number is going to be 2. So now when the next time the loop runs, this j is going to work, how many times? Obviously it is going to work, the row number 2 means that I'm on 34 hash r, so the length of this will be calculated, right? So I just want to see that if I can actually show you, if I just put the watch code on this, maybe you would be able to see that. Yeah, you can see here that we got the length 4. So now j will start from 1 and it will run 4 times. Okay, and now this time we have a new cell, so this row number 2 is going to move your cursor over here. And now guys, again the same process will run. Mid will use this j as 1. The first character is going to pull out from this 34 hash r, which is 3, which is a number. So you keep on running this, and this is how the code will work. You see that getting all the values here. All right, so I have here one problem, which is that basically, so what happened, if you let me just first run this. So what happened, it also concatenated the previous value 653. You can see here it got added with 34, and then 65334 got added with 3. That's amazing, right? So what we actually need to do is, so when basically you are publishing the value, you got to make your store again empty. So you're gonna make it empty like this. All right, that's what you need to do, because otherwise this is sorry, not the store, actually I'm sorry, my val, you got to make it empty like this, because if you will not do that, then what happens, the previous my val keep on getting concatenated. Right? So I just run this again, and look at this now. There we go, you got the value, guys. And look at this, this is coming blank. Obviously if I just write here 4 and I just run the loop again, how it is going to work? Is it going to work? Yes, of course. Wow, this is amazing, right? So that's all about this fantastic coding. Thank you so much for your question. I really loved this video, this question, Alex, and keep posting such such questions, and let me just put it in one window so that you can pause the video and you can see the entire code, guys, right? I hope you got this point, what we are trying to do here, right? So we have actually make 2 loops. One is this is the bigger loop. If you look at this is the bigger loop. This ensures that every cell should be selected one by one, but before it goes to the next cell, this inner loop is going to work. Okay, basis how many characters we have. Okay, how many characters we have in that cell. So this has to work according to the length function, right? And then this is a very important thing. Now this is the next j. This is for this j. Okay, so if I just like to give some indenting here, let me give it some indenting so that you can also read this. So I just give this indenting here, and then here I give this if error, and then like this. This is perfect, and then this next j would become, it's gonna come here, and this is how it should look like. So when you are finished with the first cell where you ran the loop 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, I don't know how many values you will have, before it goes to the next cell, we are destroying the 653, not in the cell but in the VBA. That's why we are saying that my val has to be blank, so that the next time the previous 653 should not be concatenated with this 34. If you want, then you can simply ignore this line, right? This is how. And once when the loop runs, when everything finishes, you should immediately exit from it. It should not go to the error handler. If you will not write the exit sub, then what will happen on the last cell, when it is going to do its job, it will still try to execute these lines, and this resume next can again going to take you back to this the resume line. So immediately after you're done with the code, because this is a bigger loop, and after this I don't need anything, I don't need to run the code, because next big loop means that it is going to pass, the VBA is going to pass this, bypass, is going to actually cross this line only when you are on this cell and you will have done your job. So that point in time I simply want to exit from the macro, right? That is basically the the logic behind this. So this is the entire code, and I just go and try to change the size of it so that you can see that. Well, I'm gonna make it 9, and now I hope you can see the entire code. That's it, guys, right? So I will come up with some another exciting stuff very soon, telling you more about the VBA, and till then you take care of yourself and have a fantastic learning. Bye bye.